Welcome to a new fantasy adventure on Dreamscape. Join the elf Mirilya on her dangerous journey through magical forests and mysteries in this immersive fantasy short story. With sinister dark forces threatening the realm, Mirilya carries a secret mission to stop them, although she is alone and afraid. Full of suspense and mystery, this adventure explores themes of courage, justice, and standing up against evil. The biggest gesture you can give me is a like. If you like my stories, feel free to leave a subscription and activate the bell so you don't miss any more stories. Well then, let's dive into the story. Mirilya's Perilous Quest. The night had descended upon the vast, misty plain when the slender elf Mirilya cautiously ventured out of her makeshift hiding place amidst the roots of a gnarly oak tree. For hours she had crouched there, shivering with cold and fear, listening anxiously to every faint sound. Again and again she thought she heard footsteps or twigs snapping in the underbrush and silently scolded herself for not having chosen her night camp even more carefully. Who knew what gruesome creatures lurked in this part of the forest after nightfall? But now the air finally seemed to be clear of her cruel pursuers. Quietly and very alert, Mirilya made her way eastward, deeper into the gloomy Hainton forest. Her lonely, perilous flight from the dark sorceress Delana's henchmen was an extremely daring and risky undertaking. Mirilya was well aware that she never should have agreed to this dangerous mission. Just a few weeks ago, she had still lived a peaceful, carefree life with her parents and little sister Ayala in the tranquil village of Mirilya on the edge of the forest. But Mirilya also knew the important, secret information about Delana's sinister, cruel machinations that she now possessed could not fall into the wrong hands at any cost. Only she herself could still prevent the power-hungry Delana from enslaving the entire elven kingdom and plunging it into eternal shadow. She had to remain steadfast and brave, as difficult as it was for her. Suddenly, the muffled cracking of branches made Mirilya whip around in fright. Had she already been tracked down and caught here, in the middle of the dark forest? With her heart pounding violently, she peered intensely into the impenetrable blackness between the densely standing, gnarly trees around her. There, between the black trunks, a tall, threatening figure had moved for a moment, its rapacious, cruel eyes seeming to glow horribly in the pale moonlight. In a flash, Mirilya drew one of her poison-throwing daggers from her belt and flung it precisely at the unknown shadowy figure. A horrifying, bestial scream from the depths of its throat rang out through the night as the dagger hit its target squarely in the chest mere heartbeats later. Mirilya didn't hesitate for a second to see what happened next, instead immediately fleeing in panic. Whoever had been lurking there under the cover of trees and trying to ambush her, whether human or beast, she could not afford to let her guard down or show mercy any longer. The situation was too dangerous and her mission too important for her people. Any enemy had to be eliminated quickly and ruthlessly. Only by doing so could her survival be assured. Not until the first timid rays of the next morning dawn did Mirilya dare to take a short rest on a moss-covered fallen tree trunk in a well-hidden forest cave. Incessantly she listened for any suspicious sounds around her, always ready to drop her meager provisions bundle and bolt at a moment's notice. Only after a while and with utmost caution did she retrieve the precious, magically sealed scroll containing the secret information about the exact weakness and sinister plans of the dark sorceress Delana from beneath her cloak. This invaluable knowledge represented the only way to stop the cruel Delana now and thus give the whole elven people a chance of rescue and ultimate victory in this unequal war. Mirilya was determined to deliver the scroll safely and on time to the Council of Elders in the well-hidden underground city of Tolania, even if it were to cost her life. She could not fail, her people's future depended on it. Never again would the enemy take her so painfully off guard as back then on that terrible night when Delana's mighty army had invaded and razed her peaceful hometown of Mirilya. She could still see the burning houses before her, hear the screams of the dying. And over again she saw before her mind's eye the lifeless bodies of her parents and little sister Ayala, whom she had buried beneath the smoldering beams of their home.
Have no fear, mother, father, little Ayala.
Mirilya whispered full of grief and threw tears into the dawn.
Your cruel, senseless death at the hands of Delana's henchmen will not go unpunished. I will ensure you are avenged. I swear on my honor.
The pain of her loss fueled Mirilya's determination even more and gave her the strength to give her people a chance at freedom. After a brief prayer minute for her fallen family, she set out again on the arduous trek through the woods. She could not afford to lose any time. As soon as the sun had gained its full power, it would be safer to cross the vulnerability of the plains. And then it would only be a several-day grueling march to Tolania. Mirilya clenched her fists at the thought of Delana. The false sorceress would be held accountable for all the suffering and death. Soon Mirilya would have reached the Council of Elders. And with the power of the secret knowledge on the scroll, Delana's reign of terror would end. Justice would prevail,